Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner, and I got another Microtech, so I'm gonna do a video about this knife company that up till okay, was it probably last year, maybe this year, I didn't have any of their knives, and obviously they're a well-known company. They make great OTFs. That's probably why, seeing as I live in California, that I didn't have any of their knives. Now, I've always been a fan of even the OTFs, and I would probably have a bunch of them in my collection if it weren't for the California state laws, which I am not a fan of, and I think is completely unfair. But that's my opinion, and the state is have its own opinion, and they're the ones that make the laws until such time as knife rights can put things correct. Hopefully they will. We'll see what happens. So I'm getting Microtechs now, and I'm getting some manual folding Microtechs. I've seen that they've had them before, but they haven't been very easy to get, at least in my attempts to get them. This is the box. I bought this used, but it came with all the box and everything in it, so very nice. It's nice if you get something used. I mean, the knife's the most important thing for me, but if you get all the goodies inside, I mean, that's a nice little feature. Hey, you even got the sticker. Very cool. Hadn't actually opened this up yet, but all kinds of stuff, knife care, lots of information about knives. What model is this? SOCOM. We'll talk about that one in a minute. Anyhow, here it is, and I've been showing a couple of the ones I've had already to you guys, but this is the one that I most recently got. This is another of the ram locks, so you can see that ram lock there. Fairly new, I think, maybe a year old, something like that. I don't know, maybe longer. I know they had them longer than I was able to find them available. I was looking for them at Blade Show 2023, and by the time I got over there to ask them about it, they were sold out. So maybe it's a couple years they've had this ram lock. There really has been there's a whole thing lately of new locks coming out. I think the shark lock was a big one. Actually, when the axis lock got cut loose, once that patent kind of ran out and everybody started using that, then you had all those crossbar locks all over the place. Before that, there was pretty much a lot of liner locks and frame locks, and that was mostly what you had. You had back locks, obviously. But yeah, and then the shark lock came out. Now we have those pivot locks. We got the top button locks. Button locks, obviously, very popular. Tons of different styles. This ram lock is a lot like a crossbar lock. Some people would argue that's basically what it is, but the spring is a little different. It doesn't have that Omega spring, so it's going to be a little bit more robust, I think. If you can see it in there, it's just like a regular spring. Kind of like the way the Manix 2 has a coiled spring like that for its ball bearing lock. But it does have that kind of action where you pull it back and it opens and closes. And I already had this guy that I bought. And I bought this at Blade Show. This is the one that I was looking for in 2023 and ended up getting it in 2024. It was more of a priority to me this year to try to get it. I knew that they were more available. You could find them on websites and things like that. This is the Stitch. And so that was my first ram lock. And now I have the Amphibian. And I didn't know that much about this one. And then I started seeing a couple of reviews. And boy, that's a big knife. Look, I thought the Stitch was a big knife. This is a big, long knife. And I guess my understanding is that this one has the aluminum handle, and I thought that this was the same material, but apparently this is a G10. but it still feels very much the same. It's got a lot of the same pattern milled into it. I'm not sure why they decided to go G10 on one and aluminum on the other, but I don't really feel that much difference. You know, I don't know, weight maybe, but it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe that's why this one's kind of a larger blade in the height wise, so maybe that's why they went aluminum on this one. I don't know. I know a lot of the OTFs are going to be aluminum, so it's very popular with automatic knife companies. I do like big knives. I also do like recurves. I know a lot of people don't. So it's a sharpening issue is mainly the thing. So if you look at the knife on a straight edge, you got that recurve. It's not too drastic, and I'm not afraid to sharpen a recurve, so I don't think it's gonna be a big problem. Maybe if it was more like a karambit or something like that, that gets a little bit harder. But I have sharpening stones that I could use that are set up for that kind of thing. And even with a regular one, if you come along at the edge, I've had success in sharpening. Haven't had to sharpen this one yet, so I don't know. Maybe I'll find out it's a really big pain, but I don't know. This one has this interesting kind of thumb stud here. I guess anything up here, no matter what the shape is going to be a thumb stud, but it's got this like terraced, not terrorist, but terraced. Like it's got terraces on the thumb stud. So it's an interesting shape. Maybe it makes it a little easier to get in on it, to find the thumb stud. Seems to work well. It's going to get in the cutting path a bit. You can see even this sharpening choil, which is really good, can get in that cutting path. If you are cutting and you get the material down in that area, you're definitely going to hit here. But this, you can see, you're going to get into part of the blade there. Yeah, usually I don't really have a big problem with that. I mean, if you're going through big long cuts on cardboard or something like that, you're probably going to end up with a problem. If you're like shaving wood or something, it tends to shave away. So I never really had too much of an issue, but I know people talk about it. This one's not too bad on the billboarding. You can see that this one even doesn't really have as much. It's got the little claw there, and this is the maker's mark. But a lot of it does have it on the clip. I think both of these do. So it says Microtech there, but it's not super obvious like some of the blades you'll see. Here's another Microtech that I own, SOCOM Bravo. And again, same thing. We got the maker mark here, but I have seen some, like I only have a few in my collection. I've seen some with a lot of branding on the blade. Doesn't really bother me that much, but yeah, again, another big knife, and all these kind of have an aggressive kind of look to them. These both have that kind of the downward from the handle. It kind of slopes down, which I think is great for cutting. So it's more straight, but it looks more like a military-ish sort of thing. Just the grinds on the blade, that fuller, the jimping on it. This is the SOCOM Bravo. Now this is the one that's made in China. I think they may have another one also. Reich is a company that they've been kind of collaborating with. I never did check out the SOCOM Bravo or Elite that was made in USA, but this one is a good knife. I mean, it's really solid made. It seems pretty compatible to, comparable to what we have here, which are the two USA knives folders that I have from them. So I have these two. I'm excited about them. I like them size-wise, just the whole feel of them, the way they're made, all the little details of the milling. The ram lock works really well for me. I'm I mean, obviously it doesn't have detent, but I've kind of gotten used to that with all the crossbar locks, button locks. You kind of get used to that, and I think I do prefer a knife with a detent, but I've learned how to, get over that fact, and you do get that fidgetability without putting your finger across the where the blade's going to shut, and it makes it easy to open, close, all that good stuff. So I'm willing to deal with that. Definitely, I think this is maybe an upgrade. I like the way the button's done. It's kind of like the way the switch on an automatic would be, because it's got that milling on there that really holds your finger. So when you're pulling it back, you got something to grip onto. So anyway, I'm happy with it to the point where I do want to get the MSI. As far as I know, that's the only 3 that they have with RAM locks. I only have these 3. Oh, I have one more also. An OTF. Look at that. But this is a little tiny one. Little tiny one. So Microtech is well known for their OTFs. I haven't had one in my collection until just now. I got this kind of thrown in with another knife, and it's an interesting story because I started looking at it, trying to figure out what it was. I don't know that much about them, so I looked at it, and on the blade, this one does kind of have a little bit of that branding on there, but it's a little bit worn off. I think this one's a little bit older. But when you really look at it, I don't think you can see it on the camera, but it does say USA, and then it also says UTX 70 TE, and I could barely see that on there. So I looked it up a little bit. Blade HQ is a good place to find specs. So I looked it up, and I'm looking at the knives that they show as a TE, and they're Tantos. They're all Tanto blades. I'm going, this is not a Tanto blade. So what's going on here? And I started looking at it a little closer, and I'm seeing the grind on the edge is a little bit weird, right? It gets very wide right here. And then I'm realizing, oh, it looks like this started with a dual grind right here. This thing, okay, so like I said, it was thrown in, so I'm not complaining about it at all. I still really like it, and I'll tell you a reason why in a minute, why I like this one. Even more so because of this, but I'm expecting, because this is a tiny little blade. It's pretty thin. I didn't hear the story, but I'm imagining that what happened was that somebody did something with the tip, and the tip broke off. If you look at those is it UTF? What did I say? It's a UTX 70 TE. If you look at them, they do have a cool Tanto tip on there, and so I'm assuming that it did get snapped off, and somebody fixed it by regrinding it. And it actually isn't bad. I mean, it's not totally even, but you're obviously getting into the thicker part of the material. It being a dual grind, it's gonna go from a thick to a thin on the Tanto, and without actually grinding down the thickness here, I mean, that's what you're going to end up with. It's almost like when you get a smile in the back, when you start getting into that ricasso, when you're grinding, it gets thicker like that. So this is kind of like the version of a smile at a bad sharpening choil, but on the front. But it's definitely sharp. I can definitely feel it. And the reason why I think this is a good thing for me is because now this blade's 2 inches long. 2 inches long. That's the California cutoff point. So now I got a Cali legal modified UTX 70 TE, which is now more of I'd call it maybe a flat back or a drop point, maybe a drop point blade. Handle to blade ratio is off because it broke off and got fixed, but that's fine. Actually, I wouldn't want to have less handle than this. It barely fits in my hand. It's really a 3-finger knife, tiny little handle. But it's pretty cool. I'm glad to have one. The switch on it's pretty tough to actuate. I gave it to my girlfriend to check out, and she's just going, "Oh, I can't do it." But I can do it. But then I'm used to messing with these things. So anyway, so that's also now in my collection. Another Microtech, and it is a OTF. So that's what I got so far, guys. If they could change these laws, maybe I'll buy some more OTFs, because I'm sure that I would have. I'm not super big OTF fan, but I'm sure I would have more if the law was not so bad against them in California. But these manual knives, they'd make some great manual knives. I kind of wish that they make more. You know, they're actually quite good. So I am looking forward to getting the MSI. So probably next time you see my Microtechs come out, it'll be when I pick up one of those guys. So anyway, that's what I got for you today. Short video, because I don't have a lot of these. Well, I guess it's not that short. I'm looking at the timer. You know how I talk. But yeah, a lot of monochromatic. You got your blacks and grays. They do have other colors, but that's what I ended up with. So, and that's probably what I'll continue. When I get the MSI, I'll probably get one that matches these guys pretty well. So anyway, guys, I'll end this here. Thanks for watching. 700 subs, guys. I got it. It snuck up on me. I'm working on getting that giveaway going. So kind of keep an eye out. Maybe next week I'll be able to announce what I got ready to do a giveaway. Hopefully. I got something on order. We'll see how long it takes. Not coming from China, so it's not going to be like 2 months or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be at least a week, maybe 2. We'll see. But I'll get that giveaway going, so keep an eye out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.